Hello all. In the last sessions, we built a visible dashboard and structured UI using JSX. But everything we built so far had one limitation. The progress stayed the same. The dashboard never reacted. So the next question naturally is, if a student clicks a button, completes a lesson or logs in, where does that change live? Now we give our UI its first memory system. That system is called state. So what does state mean? State is simply data that belongs to a component and can change over time. When state changes, React rebuilds the screen automatically. Now we understand what state is. Now, how do we bring this memory system into our code? That starts with importing it. So let's say in my student dashboard, let me import useState from React. Uh, Let me define a variable to store my progress and also to set it. So I'll say set progress. I will use state. I will define it as number and I will set it to 0 initially. Yeah. So what I've done here is I've defined a variable named as progress to set my progress. This set progress is the setter function to set the value inside this progress variable. This use state is React's inbuilt hook to use states in my React application to store any data. This number we have defined, it ensures that this particular data is of type number over here. And here I'm initially assigning it to the value 0 over here. So at this moment, memory exists, but the student still can't see it. So our next step is to connect memory to the screen. We have created a state internally. Now let's make it visible on the UI. So on the UI, it shows all this enrolled courses. It says this course card over here. Let me just add, let's say, a paragraph tag saying course progress, and I will say progress over here. Yeah. So now here, my JSX file is reading the live state from this progress state over here. So whatever value is in this particular progress, it will be displayed over here in this course progress. So if we check our web page over here, it will show us course progress is 0 since we have assigned it to 0. But let's say over here, I change it to, let's say 50. So in that case, it should show 50 over here. So yeah, as we can see, the course progress is 50. So now the student can see the current memory value, but visibility alone is not enough. The student must be able to change it. We have connected the state to the screen. Now we'll connect user action to state change. So let me just change this back to 0. Then in my student dashboard, let me also define a student now. So I'll say constant student set student is equal to use state. Let me store an object this time. My student details name is, let's say, Rahul. The course, let's say, is full stack, and the progress is, let's say, 20. Yeah. So in this particular student variable, what I'm doing is I'm storing a object over here. So in this particular object, I've defined values like name, which is Rahul, course, which is full stack, and the progress value of that particular course, which is 20% over here. So here we can see that my state can also store complete objects in this case. So now let me also define some courses over here. So constant courses, sorry, set courses is equal to state. Let me store, this will be of type string and it will be an array of string. So yeah, and let me store an array this time. So it will be React, it will be Node, it will be Node, and let's say it will be AI. Yeah. So here in this particular case, in this courses variable, I'm storing an array of string. So what I've done is I've defined my useState hook. I've defined it to be a array of string over here, and I'm storing this array in this courses variable. Yeah. Now let me do one thing. Let me add a button over here. Hmm, yeah, let me go to enroll courses. Let me just add a button over here. Button. Let's say add course. Let's just say add course. This button. Let me define the onClick function for this. OnClick function is basically when the user clicks on that particular button, what should happen? What function should be called? So let me define that. I want to set this particular courses. So I want to add some course in this particular array. So what I'll do is I'll just say set courses. I will say the initial value of courses, and I will add, let's say, MongoDB this time. So MongoDB. Yeah. Okay. Let me also, let's just say I will, let me just console log this time. Console log courses. Yeah. So now if we check our browser and we check the console over here, so here it shows me my initial values of the state. So all the courses that I have, so that is React, Node, and AI. Now what I'll do is I'll click on this add course button. So clicking on add course, and yeah, as you can see, my state has changed over here. So now it has added this MongoDB course in this courses array. So now the dashboard can grow dynamically at runtime. Today you learned how React turns a static screen into a living system. But right now, all this memory lives inside a single component. But real applications never work with one component alone. So the next logical question is, how does one component send its state to another? That bridge is built using props, which is the focus of the next session. Until then, keep coding, keep exploring. Thank you.